Hey everybody, welcome to 3D Thursday. We have Terry here and Justin on the other side there.
Hello,
so waiting for some people to show up and chat and we'll get started. I'm just gonna mute until a couple people come in. All right, looks like we're back in business, Justin. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty good. And how are you doing, Terry?
I am excellent, man. Can't complain at all.
Am I really loud?
Not terribly. Not on my side. I assume you weren't asking for a personal opinion, just in general. So what's in your printer today, man?
Well,
printers. What do you got? Like I see
mushroom.
Oh, the mushroom.
Cool. We've been working on.
Yeah. Okay.
Just to have something going.
Yep. All right. What colors you got in it? Do you have a camera on that printer?
I do.
Am I correct? It looks like about 4 printers I could see. I'm counting right.
All right. Well,
it's a little darker than I thought it would be. By the way, I'm so glad that we have, for the most part, and I know I'm gonna regret saying this, but I'm glad that we don't have the delay that we had before. We've overcome most of the technical hurdles, so yay, technology.
Well, I'm still pretty new to OBS.
Yeah.
And learning the settings and trying to get my scenes and everything else figured out so it can move more fluidly.
Yep.
It's going to take a little time.
Yeah, I hear you, man. It's definitely, I'm always in the camp of, hey, if it's free, it's for me. So I do like it from that aspect, but yeah, it does take a little getting used to.
Now my other camera is not working for some reason.
It's funny. I saw it before, like right before we went live. There it was. I guess we should be counting our blessings, not our cameras today. So yeah, speaking of which, how we didn't have a 3D Thursday last week because it was Thanksgiving. So how was your Thanksgiving?
My Thanksgiving was wonderful.
Yeah,
Went to my parents' house,
nice.
and between me and my sister and my brother and all of our kids, I think there was like almost 20 people there.
Wow, oh that's awesome.
So
That's cool.
it's been. I live in a very small town. Well, I call it small, but it's like about 100,000.
Okay.
But it's nowhere near like what Florida is.
No, yeah, Orlando's pretty. Oh, okay. Now, I'm bad at handles and nicknames and all that kind of stuff in chat, so I apologize. But thank you to who sent the happy belated birthday to me. That's awesome. Thanks for remembering. And who was it? Who was EDC4MA? I can't remember. Just type your name, unless you want to remain anonymous. Yeah, Ed. Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, man. What's new with you today, Ed? What's up in the 3D world of Ed? And also, I should check. Have you guys taken a look at the latest video yet? The one that we posted a few days, about almost a week back.
I actually have not looked at that one. I know I was supposed to. You sent me the link, and I'm guilty. I've spent a lot of time this last week going through and transforming that Ender 3.
Oh yeah,
I
man!
decided to kind of gift to a gentleman that I had talked to about a year ago.
Yeah, that's cool, man. What did you end up doing to the Ender altogether? Yeah, it's a great story. I don't know how much you want to share, but I think it's awesome. There was basically somebody in need, and you had a printer that you could fix up and prepare, and that's what you did, right?
That is correct. I
Hey, Dan.
got a Amazon return Ender 3 Pro for a little over $100,
Nice.
and it's been sitting in the closet for like 8 months. So I came across this gentleman. I really liked him. He kind of wants to get into 3D printing, but I've taken it and I've added the Big Tree Tech SKR Mini E3, the 3.5 TFT touchscreen for him, BL Touch, BMG, and I've converted it to direct drive.
Nice.
And I just got the firmware on it last night. Was able to heat it up and take out the old filament and get the BMG finally set on top.
Nice. Wow.
It's coming along.
So it sounds like it's just about ready.
Just about.
Cool.
I do want to go through and get him a nice pure profile to go along with it.
Yeah.
Because, as we all know, the slicing settings is enough to make you pull your hair out.
Yeah, that's right. I do want to shout out to Dan. Hey, thanks for joining today. I see you there in the chat. Do appreciate it.
Hello there, Dan.
Hey, Justin, you were mentioning, I think you said RepRap, right?
Not on this machine.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard you say RepRap. Sorry. All right. But why don't we go into that subject now that I craftfully brought it up? You guys, you and Trevor have worked on something pretty cool. You want to talk about RepRap on Marlin machines?
Was it 6 months ago? A gentleman by the name of Peter went through and did all the hard work to figure out how to bring RepRap to certain floors that normally could only run Marlin. And if you've ever used a Duet Wi-Fi and liked their web interface, he partnered with the gentleman that had set up the web interface for Duet and was able to transition it into boards with the LPC 1768, the LPC 1769, and they just went through and got some of the STEM 32 boards going.
Wow. So, in English, what does that mean to people?
Basically, you can control your machine with the web interface that only normally comes with the $200 Duet board.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Now, how much is this contraption that allows you to do all this? Because there's some hardware, right? So
they're actually quite small.
Yeah.
I have one sitting right over here, but you're looking at about $20.
No kidding, right?
You go through and add it to like SKR 1.3, 1.4, and turbo.
So if you did that, the advantages besides just being Wi-Fi, I mean, I'm comparing this to, like, let's say what maybe people are familiar with a Pi setup or something like that. The additional advantages to this would be that instead of having to, like, let's say, change something in firmware in Marlin, which requires coding and a lot of digging in, right? You could go to the web interface that you're talking about and kind of change around some configuration items, right? Is that my understanding?
You are absolutely correct.
Wow, so that's actually pretty sweet.
The best part about it is being able to change the firmware on the fly, so to call it.
Wow.
All of your printer settings are right there on your PC, laptop, tablet, and you just click what you want to change it, save, and then hit the reset, and then that's it.
Wow, that's cool. So, man, that's I'm just, my mind's racing, right, with all the possibilities now. So that's pretty cool. Like, if I wanted to go in and tweak something with, I don't know, like linear advance, or I don't know, something that, that maybe, boy, I'm trying. Give me some examples. Like, what are the kinds of things you would typically change?
It doesn't have linear advance.
Oh, okay.
It has pressure advance.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay, I've read that
Same sort
before.
of idea, different name, different, just a little bit different, same type thing.
Cool. Ed is like me. When I first heard you whip through, I mean, I'm a techie, and when you were ripping through that stuff, I'm like, okay, I understand every third word. So, Ed was kind of saying the same thing. But yeah, so the takeaway here is that you could do some things. Oh, go ahead. You were talking about pressure. Where I said linear advance, you were talking pressure. So what does that buy you in like printer user speak?
Well, linear advance goes through and makes it where the transition around the corner goes through and like slows the filament flow as it goes around the corner, so that you can go through and maintain a higher speed and have
like consistent
nice
output.
even layer lines.
Yeah, nice.
Now, pressure advance is the exact same thing. It's just worded differently for a different.
Yeah, I mean, a different brand, right? But yeah, right. So, like, I guess pressure and linear advance do make sense. Like, they would be the same thing, because it really is about the pressure being built up or not when it's trying to, go at various different speeds and then change direction, right? So that's cool.
Absolutely.
Nice. All right. So I'm wondering if I'm looking at the chat to see if JP is going to join. JP, if you're there, please let me know, because some people are telling me on my phone and some people are in the chat. So let me check.
Try to turn on another machine real quick.
Oh yeah, cool, man. Yeah. is JP actually, we just recently got in touch, and it's pretty cool. He sent me something that I thought was really amazing. He just actually sent me the STL for it, but it's something he's been working on for some time here, and I really wish I could get him to talk through it, at least in the chat or something, but okay, he is texting me back. Yes, he's there. Okay, cool. So JP, if you're in chat, correct anything I'm about to say, but my understanding is that he wanted to improve the flow and the I guess the accuracy and the flow of the surround that holds the fans on the SV02. So he's got the brain and the smarts to be able to improve that, and using actual, there he is, he's there, yeah, John Paul. So using actual data and technology to be able to test the flow that comes in and out. So I know in the future, maybe even as soon as next week, JP is going to work on getting some kind of video together to show why it's cool, and then we'll share that here. We'll probably have him on camera here and show his video and talk about it a little bit more. But I like sort of previewing these kind of things, talking about it before we do that. And I'm going to flip over here real quick, and I'm going to show my other screen. Boom. And so JP, again, feel free to correct me, but anyway, this is the STL that you sent me, loaded up into Cura. And I know you're printing, this is a newer version because you said there were some issues with how it fit. I'm not sure which area was which, but if you wouldn't mind talking in the chat a little bit about like why it was needed and the kind of things that you were able to do. But the model looks pretty tight, and maybe you can even share with us how you modeled or / remodeled this, what you were using and everything. So I'll probably reread some of what he's typing in the text here. So it says, I used Bernoulli's principle to design the airflow. Cool, I'm sure we all know what that is. Let me take a moment to push up my glasses. It was designed in Shaper 3D. Cool. And for the cats, yeah. Oh, yeah, on the iPad, no less. No kidding. That's sweet. So what was the problem you were trying to solve, JP? And I'm just curious. I'm just going to take this. This is my 01. I have my 01 and my 02 loaded here in Cura. And I'm just going to use my 01 has a 0.6 nozzle loaded in it right now. And I'm just going to take a standard slice through just to see what it looks like since we're waiting. Okay. So the goal was to improve the airflow without cooling the nozzle. Awesome. Bernoulli is turning over his grave for you using... So Ed must know a little bit about that. That's cool. That's cool. This would produce more of a, I guess he's trying to say linear, or no, laminar. Laminar? Must be linear somehow. Okay. You'll have to explain that word to me because that's beyond me. So it looks like this part would take about 1 hour and 49 minutes to slice. I'm not sure what you were hitting there, JP, but looks pretty solid to me. Yeah, Ed, again, you know, I'm using a 0.6 nozzle and a 0.3 layer height, so it's going to be a lot faster than I'd say like normal, like out of the box. Rotate it on the back side. Okay. Get a little better picture here. Yeah, JP, it only took I don't know, like half a minute to slice. Okay, 0.15 layers and a 0.4 nozzle. I can switch that over. Yeah, it'd probably, well, I don't know. The layers would, you tell me if it would work, because I think the layers would be thick enough that it would work. They'd be smashed together pretty well. It would just print faster, but maybe you have some openings here that I'm not aware of. So I'll go ahead and change it to what you said, 0.15, 0.15, 0.4. And I know I probably have some other settings to change, but let's just give it a roll with that and see what it looks like. There we are. 4 hours, dude. An hour something to 4 hours. Okay. So tell me what we're looking for. Do you think would restrict some of the flow? You know, I feel like when I switched over to my live desktop, I can't hear Justin unless he's muted. Oh no, there we go. I hear you.
I had him muted.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure it wasn't me, man. Cool.
I was trying to add a screen share, but it's
gotcha. Okay.
working against it.
So the detail is on the inside, which is why it needs to be so tight. Gotcha. Okay, so where are we looking like? Oh, okay. So this is pretty cool. So, you know, what I like about this is the community around the Sovols. It's so pretty great. So check it out. I mean, without even getting the original CAD file for the SV02 on the iPad. So JP goes out and redesigns a brand new shroud with better improved airflow that's also not going to cut across the nozzle. So that's pretty awesome, man. I think, if you don't mind, I know you sent me this just as an example to show here, but I may, if it's okay with you, give it a whirl printing and swap out my O2 and see what it does for me. So Justin, I don't know if you were able to see most of that because I know you're trying to get your printer going, but this is pretty cool.
I see it. Wow, that got really loud all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's very, very cool.
Oh.
Yeah, see, so it blocks it from the nozzle.
Very nice.
Very cool. So he's done some test fitting, and he said that the first one he did was, I think this is version 2-ish, and the first one he did said that it was just a little too tight to fit properly, and he redesigned it here, and that's what this one is. So I might give it a whirl, man, because I'd love my O2 to be a little better in its ability to cool. That's cool, man. So JP, yeah, I'm hoping.
Come out as like a circle around the nozzle there.
That's what I'm seeing. Okay, let's get out of this and let's look at preview mode. My camera doesn't like me. Sorry about that.
I do like that.
Yeah. So yeah, man, JP knows his stuff. I love it. And I don't know, JP, what your plans are. If this is going to go the route of Thingiverse or anything like that, or if you're going to sell them. I don't know what you're going to do, but that's pretty cool. I see it now. I wish I could get in there better, but Kira is not a beast at sectioning. Yeah. That's so cool. I love that. Yeah, so that's what he's saying. That's what Ed's saying. That's what I was just looking at here. The air gets directed down and then it swirls around under the nozzle onto the print. Yeah.
That was really nice, actually. Very nicely modeled.
And the cool thing is, I was chatting with him a little bit, and what's nice is he didn't just like take a good guess, right? He's not like, in theory, it should do this. He's got the math to back it up. And yeah, about 2 months design time on that one, he says. Wow, I can appreciate that, man. That's awesome.
That is a lot of time.
Yeah, but I mean, he's done it with science, right? So he's got, I guess, some software and maybe just some good old-fashioned know-how on how to do this properly. So that's great. And could I tell you, I'd really like to get a much better cooling design for the 01. I've tried so many other ones that were rolling around Thingiverse, and they're just not great. Some of them, I mean, I haven't tried every single one of them, but the ones I've tried were not, I wasn't an extreme fan of them. They had a lot of good theory behind them, but in practice, I didn't really see any improvement. So, JP, I challenge you. Actually, I think you got the 03 today, if I'm not mistaken. So, but yeah, I'd like to see a better 01 nozzle. I mean, fan duct. That's awesome. Yep, that's his next project since he just got the 03. And no trifecta there, JP? You don't have an 01 also? Oh yeah, and he got the Fox Alien CNC router today. Now, what's the sizing on that? What will it do compared to other CNC systems? Yeah, I started with the 02. Cool. And I'm wondering, JP, okay, this is why I keep blowing out my printers, pushing wrong buttons. 30 cmx 18. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. 30 centimeter by 18 centimeter. I thought he was giving me a model number. I'm sorry, I'm not that. I'm nerding up, I guess. So that's cool. What do you plan to do with your router? Your CNC router? And also, JP, did you get the 02 to do anything really cool with dual color printing, or did you just get it because it was a decent printer? Yeah. Hey man, there's a lot of cool little parts that I wouldn't mind getting CNC milled someday. Mostly develop parts for his fabricating business. That's awesome. So one thing that since we were talking about that video, we never really jumped into that much, but so when I first got the 02, you guys probably saw, oh, okay, seem to have better two color and not need, okay, that's cool. Yeah, so JP, this here, this was printed on the 02. This, I was saying before, this is kind of my litmus test. Whenever I try to dial in a printer, I want to see how fast and accurate I can print this thing. And of course, it's R2's hollow projector. That's what I always use. So the proof was, hey, even with some $14 filament, how well will it and fast will it print this piece here? And is it nice and solid and shaped well and everything? And it did it. So that was the first thing. Then when I got into the dual color modes, went ahead and printed this off the SD card. And as we were talking last 3D Thursday, this was the thing that kind of made my mind go, there's some coolness to be had on the dual color printing, because yeah, I mean, you can look at this on screen like you guys are doing now and go, okay, cool, it's a butterfly and it's got hinges and it's dual color, cool. But the minute I popped this thing off the bed and went, wait a second, I could do this and I could do that, it started me thinking, so I'm glad they included these things. Then I popped out this is the NASA hex fabric mesh. This is all one piece, as we talked last time, and this is nice and flexible. Hopefully you guys can see that. So this is also pretty cool stuff, and all that got me jazzed up to start thinking about, man, what happens if we don't just think about maybe two different colors on the printer? What else can you do with two different rolls of filament on that printer? The challenge to me, somebody asked me, like, okay, why do I need that fancy printer when I could just go get a cheap SV01 and I can print something and I could sand it down, tape it off, spray paint it this color, spray paint it that color there, and boom, you got multicolor printing, right? So, well, yeah, I mean, besides the manual labor involved and all that, that's true. So I took it as a challenge to think of what can you do that isn't just another color with that second roll of filament and still make it one physical piece. So as you guys that have seen the video know, I came up with this guy here. So this Charmander here. So from the front, looks pretty standard, right? It's just orange filament. But what I do like about this particular orange is it's nice and matte, so it kind of looks like the circus peanuts, the candy up front. You know, when you're in front of it, it looks like that. So, but if you flip them around, this tail is different. So if you check out the video, you'll see, or some of the, I've been posting images too, but this fire on the tail is actually active. So what happens is as this thing gets hotter, it changes color. So it's thermochromatic. So you get this thing hotter and it goes to kind of from this brown to a red, and then from the red to an orange, and an orange to a yellow, and it really looks, it's convincing. It looks like fire. So check out some of the images I posted on that. So all one piece, one print. And now we have something that you just don't duplicate just by grabbing another can of spray paint and trying to make that same model. So I thought, man, so if you can do this, what else can you do? So you can take nice clear, let me take this piece out of it. Some nice clear filament, this natural filament. And you can actually make things like, I don't know, like tops of lamps and stuff that need to be very transparent, in blending that in with different colors, or even different textures, or maybe things like this that are active to heat or light or whatever, glow, all that kind of stuff. So think about mixing wood and metal filament and all those kind of things. So my whole idea with that like 2 or 3 minute video was just to inspire people to say, hey, look at dual color printing differently. What else can it do for you, and how can it sort of set you on a different creative path? So hopefully you get that out of the video. Go watch it, go check out the YouTube channel, and let me know what you think about that, because I had a great time doing it, and it's just a cool way of thinking about things. So the SV02, good way to go with that. So why would his tail get hotter? Well, the whole thing is going to get hotter, Ed. But if he was sitting out in the sun, you know, did I say I'm in Florida? But if he's sitting out in the sun, or you know, if it's you know, geez, I don't know, you know, you could take a heat gun to it or whatever. But the cool thing is, like, there are a lot of situations where even just walking into a different room, it'll turn orange. So it's fairly sensitive, this particular PLA that I chose. So it doesn't have to get like close to the sun. It just has to get a little warmer than what it is. Good question.
About what temperature does it take to make it start changing?
Well, I think it's like somewhere around here, and I'm sure I don't have it handy. There's a temperature chart, but it's basically, it does change somewhat of a color. I don't know. I think it's like every 10 degrees or so. But I don't remember if that was Fahrenheit or not. But I know, like, setting it on the windowsill, it does change color. Of course, you really want to see it fast, stick it over a flame. But actually, I wonder if I happen to have... There we go. I do have a flame handy. So let's do this in live streaming. Don't try this at home, kids. Oh, wait, I got a fan blowing. Might not work. And I don't have any fuel either. So, well, it would have been cool, wouldn't it? All right. So enough about Charmander. But yes, to answer the question, I did get some people... I'm so small? I'm not sure what that means then. But I did have a couple people ask me if I'm going to sell these, and look for it on Etsy. On my screen? Are you saying my... Oh, I know.
We are very small.
I get it. I get it. Thank you for speaking up finally. Let me transition that. There we go. Boom. Okay. Thank you for mentioning that. I thought that I was going to take that personal for a second. I'm small. But no, I love you guys, man. Trust me. Just kidding. Thank you, though. Yeah, so I was going to try and... Okay, let me show you again. So here's Charmander. Here's the tail part back here. I think it's probably going to be more out of focus the further it gets away from me. But, yeah, that's him. But I don't have a flame to be able to change the heat, so I apologize. I was looking around for
another. What are you printing on the SV01 then?
good question. I am printing the other half of this helmet piece. So if you've seen any of the other videos you saw, and they're somewhere else, they are a Genji helmet. So if any of you guys are fans of Overwatch, so this part would actually go here. It would kind of go like this, I guess, on the helmet. So I'm printing the other half right now. That would kind of butt up against this. So just popping those guys into Mesh Mixer, and I will share you my sob story here too. So if you take a look at this, here it is from the back, and that's basically, let's see, this piece here. So same orientation. You can see it. It was supposed to be that tall. Where's the camera? That tall, and quit on me. So I had a good old-fashioned clog in my nozzle at about 87% way through the thing before I cut it in half. So I decided I'm not going to tempt fate anymore. I'm going to get at least a half out of it again. And, you know, it's kind of, I guess I should mention that. Not a bad idea. The more, like, I don't know, even if it'll fit on my bed, the more 12, 15-hour prints, the more I get nervous sometimes. Even though, man, my SV01 is a rock star, it just, you know, it's dialed in really well for me. And generally speaking, doesn't have a problem. But I finally had to replace my nozzle. And at the time, Amazon didn't have any more nozzle X's in the 0.6 size. So I'm like, all right, I'll throw a $10 brass nozzle in there. And often I forget that I did that. And so it did clog on me where the nozzle X never did. So lesson learned, I just cut that sucker in half in Mesh Mixer, and now I'm printing each half separately. So yeah, it happens. So I am kind of enjoying the multi-printer setup though, Justin. I don't have anything like you or Scott or anybody, but I can still count the number of printers on one hand, let alone you probably can't even. You probably got to take your shoes off to count yours. But
well, I'm still getting everything set up. I went from having them still in boxes. I had, I think, 5 in boxes still at one point in time. And then I had some in the kitchen, the living room, the den, which is here, laundry room. And I'm slowly moving them to one spot. And having all that be going to one spot, and having all the parts and stuff that go along with them.
Yeah.
It's taken me some time to go through and get everything sorted out.
Yeah, because you got nothing else to do, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, we all, man, it's a struggle for all of us. I'm lucky I have half of my desk here to be able to devote to these two guys. But if I had more than the two, I'd have to start going vertical, I think. And maybe some would be on the floor. I don't know. I don't like the idea of them being on the floor. Or going to the garage, because what I'm doing right now, and you saw my garage project that I got going on for organization, Justin, but as soon as I get that done, that'll move everything else out of the way so I can finish off my, I want to have an area that we can dedicate for making the videos and stuff for surfacing, you know, going in and finishing off parts, sanding them down, filming all that, painting. I'm going to have a paint booth and the whole thing. So I got to get all the other stuff out of the way so that I can make that. And then I will also have room for more printers out there if I need to do it. And I don't know about you, Justin, but I just don't know if I yet feel convinced that I should have an SLA printer in my house. Just all that stuff, man. I don't know. A little too toxic, I think, for me. I might be making too much of a mess inside, so I'd rather do it in my garage. So, but we don't have the coldness to really worry about in Florida, so I probably could get away with it.
Very true. Really, I have my SLA printers right here in the den. They're actually in an arm wire. Right
okay.
Behind the camera there.
Yep.
And I really don't smell them.
I guess I'm worried that I'd probably spill something I shouldn't or whatever. Although I did get this in today. I'm sure some of you know what this stuff is, but got this in. This is some resin. Sunlu gray resin. You're asking me, Terry, why did you have Amazon deliver you some resin if you don't have a resin printer?
Exactly.
And the answer is, I'm trying to print some things for something I'm working on that are just way too tiny, physically sized really small. Not that the SV01 couldn't handle the level of detail, and man, I just threw that stuff out too. I was going to show you what it did do, but I asked a buddy down the street to actually resin print some stuff for me. So this right here is, this is not the final color, this is just the filament I had in place. So this is from Nico Industries, and if you can kind of tell what it is, this is a faceplate holder for the Iron Man mask. So the mask would kind of go in place kind of here, and what would happen is on the ends of these robot arm kind of thing. I know my black shirt is right there. Right, let's see, right here. I wonder if I can actually show you in the light with these. Yeah, there we go. You can kind of see some of the level of detail. That's kind of like an industrial robot looking like Tony Stark kind of thing. And on the end of it is basically a robot hand that would stick here. It's about like yay big, but it's got super tremendous amount of detail. And then there's a bunch of little pieces that go in here to hold everything up. And I just was not able to, I gave it a good go, but was not able to get those tiny, tiny little like half-inch pieces to print very well with an FDM printer. So asking my buddy to do it, and the payment was buy me more resin. So I love the deal. It's a good deal for me. Let me catch up with some of the chat here. So,
Well,
oh, go ahead.
This exact moment is the first time that I've actually been able to see the chat.
Oh,
I haven't been answering any of the questions because the one kind of
oh, when it was tiny, yeah.
screen that I have of Terry and I and everything, the writing is very, very small.
And I'm also going to send you a link directly to the chat window, Justin, just in case you want to have a full size there.
That would be great.
Yeah, that'll pop up in a pop-up of its own. So, so yeah, I did have to break down for this particular thing, and I have something resin printed. So, and if you guys know me, that's kind of saying something, because I have done some tremendous like 0.06 layer height stuff that turn out really well. It takes forever, but hey man, the SV01 will do it. But it wasn't that tiny of a piece. So, but anyway, so that'll be fun to get. I'm gonna probably pick up this stuff tomorrow from my buddy and swap the resin for him. Okay, so let's see here. So Ed says, do you want to do a giveaway for a $40 off of an SV03? I would love to, but I don't work for Sovol, so I can't authorize anything like that. Although I can talk to our buddies over there, because as you know, Justin and I kind of do some of the Sovol group admin. We help them out with that stuff. So I can talk to our pals over at Sovol and see if there's anything they'd like to do. But I know they've had some like really great like Black Friday deals and Cyber Monday deals and everything on the 03. And I don't know if JP just picked that up. Okay, so JP says, I won the $40 coupon on the SV03 and ordered it during the Thanksgiving prize. Awesome. I was wondering if you took advantage of that, JP. Oh, Ed's saying I will donate it. Oh, wow. So Ed is willing to donate a $40 coupon. Well, I guess I shouldn't be reading these things backwards. That's awesome, Ed. So what you're saying is you've got the coupon and you're not going to use it, so you'd like to give it to somebody here. So that's cool. If there's anybody that would like to get Ed's coupon, then say so in the chat and raise your hand, and you guys can work out a deal. That's awesome. Thanks, Ed. And JP is asking about nozzles. So do you have nozzles you recommend? Also, everything when I print my kiddo's F1 wagon suspension, I was going to use carbon fiber filament and would need a good hardened nozzle. Yes. Are the Ruby or airbrush nozzles worth it, or just hardened nozzles? So I'd like to ask Justin too, but my thought is this. A few months into printing on my SV01, I kind of felt the same way. I wanted to print with like wood and stuff like that, and I didn't feel like replacing nozzles all the time. And I wanted to upgrade the whole hot end to an E3D V6. So that's what I did, and many of you probably saw the article that I posted on how to do it. Man, I keep saying this, but it's one of those things that's a nagging thing. It's such a big video. I'm trying to shrink down into something consumable with multi-cameras and all that kind of stuff. But it's taken me a while to edit down the video for upgrading an SV01 to an E3D V6. But my recommendation is, if you're going to go the hardened nozzle route, probably change the hot end to an E3D V6, and I do recommend the genuine ones over the clones. What do you think? No, Justin, do you think if you're going to go the route of a hardened nozzle?
I have went through and used clones for thousands of hours of prints, and then I've bought official E3D V6s, and I do prefer the official E3D V6.
Awesome. Okay. And it's not that much, right? What is it, like 60 something bucks, I think, for the kit, right? So.
I've caught them on flash sales sometimes, especially like Black Friday and like E3D's birthday. They go through and have really good sales. I think the last one I bought was like 40 bucks.
Nice.
And that was for a complete kit. As far as the hardened nozzles go, I haven't tried the X nozzle. I have used their just hardened nozzles. I have, I think, 0.4, 0.6, and I think that's it for hardened. I don't remember if I got one for the Super Volcano that was hardened.
What I would say about the hardened nozzles, now I'm the opposite. I went straight for the Nozzle X because I was super interested in the coating they put on them to make it really slick and not have clogs and stuff. And for the most part, that was true. Lasted lots and lots of prints. I mean, like you said, thousands of hours, I'm sure. But I did finally do something stupid to it, and I needed to order another one. But that's what I was saying. Amazon didn't have any at the time. So I do need to go. It's a good reminder. I need to go back and order myself another Nozzle X branded 0.6 nozzle. Now, I still have my 0.4. What I would recommend, though, is if you're going to do this, if you're going to get hardened nozzles or a Nozzle X, a couple things. Probably order yourself a 0.4 because that's the standard, and a 0.6. At least have those two on hand. I'm about to go. Yeah, go ahead.
This is for the SV02.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to get to that in a second. I promise you I saw it. Thank you. But as far as just finishing the thread on that, the hardened nozzles, you're going to need to probably increase your temperature almost up to 10 degrees more when you print with those things, just because of how it dissipates heat differently than the brass. That's what I've noticed anyway. Now, yeah, I know JP is talking about, hey, I want to put this on the O2. I think it's a good time to bring up, JP also has used SV01 nozzles on an O2, and it's crazy to me. I didn't know that was even possible, but so you can't, as far as I know, I'm pretty sure, I'm 99.99% sure here, that you can't use an E3D V6 on an SV02 just because of the Y channel, the dual color mixing. I think you'd have to, even if it was possible, you'd have to give up that whole thought process to put one of those on it. Now, I don't know, Justin, if there's an equivalent of something like that for a dual color printer. So if you wanted to upgrade the hot end on an SV02, what would your choices be? Is there any? Except for the mixing hot end?
I'm not quite sure. I have not taken the SV02 hot end apart. I really can't even see the one.
Yeah, I know it's way different. I've seen a picture of it before. I've not taken mine apart to that degree yet. Kind of don't want to. But
Sovol just posted a picture of the nozzles for it, and I thought it was very large and weird looking.
Yeah, I think the bottom, like the outside shape is, if I'm correct me, JP.
Almost looks like an MP8.
Right? Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. So I think the bottom outside is bigger, but I think what JP was telling me today is that, or maybe it was yesterday, that the actual part that you screw in is the same. It's just a different length outside. So he had to offset his Z some to get it to work. And then you even see, like, he sent a picture of his, he has a BL Touch on his SV02. I'm like, how did you get that to align? And so he created a bracket. I say he's a mechanical engineer. He created a bracket so it was just the right height and bolted it into the other two holes on there and got it all to work somehow. So it's kind of crazy. Hey, half a peace sign.
That's me.
Oh, okay. All right, so yeah, BQ has some great 2-in, 1-out hot ends. Okay. Yeah, I'm not yet sure how that would work, trying to duct tape that into the SV02.
It all depends on how they mount.
Right, yeah.
These particular ones, I don't know if they screw straight into the front or.
I'll bet you JP knows.
I bet you that.
JP, I think we're gonna have to get some pictures and put together an article about this. Although I don't know if we want to encourage people to to beat up their SV02. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I am kind of curious because okay, here's my thought process on the SV02. I like it when it works like it does now. I'm intrigued by the mixing hot end. But I'm a little leery of jumping on that because I don't know enough about it to decide if it's just going to be as rock solid as I need it to be. Yeah, it's cool that it mixes. Okay, let's go through the list. A, it's cool that it mixes. B, I don't know if it would end up being otherwise exactly the same as what I have now, like as reliable and everything. And then C, I just don't know. Well, let's stop at reliability. I'm going to throw another one out there later, but let's just go A and B for now. All right, so JP says, I've thought about using the O2 for design on non-planar printer for true 3D printing and not 2.5. Interesting. Non-planar printing is cool.
The non-planar printing is very cool.
Yeah.
The one thing is the slicing of the models themselves is such a nightmare.
So, but that is a software problem, right? So,
very true.
If it gets important enough, I'm sure Kira and the Prusa Slicer and everything else will start throwing it in there. I'm surprised S3D doesn't have an option for it yet.
All right, what I do? Hello?
Yep, we got you, man. Yep.
All right. The one thing that I have went through and checked out and I thought was really cool was a 6-axis 3D printer where they had this little table, and the table went through and could revolve and go all over, and then the hot end just stayed wherever. So that when basically you wouldn't have to have supports because you could turn it to a point where everything was just straight up and down.
Wow. That sounds like crazy sauce, man. But I'd love to see it. That's neat. Wow.
See if I can find that video for next week.
Yeah. And so what other kind of cool things? First, I should ask, is there anything anybody has as far as questions that we can help with since we got people here? Because that was one of the things I opened with. Do you guys have anything that we can help you with? But I love these discussions anyway. It's kind of a cool little campfire kind of chat. So I do love that. Yeah, what else was I looking at lately that I'm thinking, man, we should talk about that. I should write I do usually write these things down. But let's see, SV02 wise. Anybody else have any thoughts for what other kind of things you could do with dual color printing besides color? Like maybe we should say dual filament printing instead of dual color. But But
I've always wanted to try out the HIPS or PVA to go through and have dissolvable material, so you don't have to go through and break it off and clean it up and all the sanding and whatnot.
Yeah.
The dissolving sounds wonderful, but with the amount of waste, with all the purging,
and that's expensive stuff. Yeah.
You're looking at about $60 for a half a kilogram.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
a little over a pound for $60.
Yeah. Is it worth it? So I guess it comes down to, is your is your time worth more than the filament? I guess is how I'd put it. So, yeah, I mean, it depends. Like, you know, man, I wish I would have saved this, or I guess I should say I wish I would finish before we're done here, but I know it won't. On the, where did I put my helmet piece? Here it is. On this guy here, that we were showing earlier. So this piece needed a grand total of 1 support, and it was for this inlay here. If you can, let's see, where's the light? There's a circular piece that comes in here, and it printed basically in this orientation. So there was a support piece that came down here, and then just the support on the bottom. And you know, I just literally like 2 fingers snapped the thing off the bed, peeled the peeled that support off, and then flicked that one off. I mean, it was so beautiful. So and it's not like it wasn't this JMO Tech filament that was doing it. It was just like the right settings. So just being able to have that printer dialed in that way, so I knew, okay, I'm familiar with this. The setup that I have here, all I got to do is put the exact layer height I'm using on my Z, for my I'm sorry, my raft, and it just pops right off. It adheres well enough. I know it's not going to go anywhere because, again, magic formula of adhesion is flipping that glass bed so the smooth side is up, and washing it really good with Dawn, drying it off, putting it back on there, and clipping it into place, and then taking this stuff, Aquanet, for whatever, less than $2 at Publix, taking that and just misting it over the glass, and man, no adhesion problems. It's wonderful. So man, it was just such an easy print, and all the supports came right off. So no sanding needed for the supports I used on that. But you're right, some stuff is more complex than that. Let's see. So yeah, let me catch up with some of the chat here. And yeah, dissolvable supports. Yep. I think you can use 2 different, on a 2-in-1 printer, you can do it on a IDEX. Yeah. What are you saying? Add 2 different what? Types of filament? Yeah, they would have to be in the same, well, I mean, they should be in the same temperature range, because as it flips in Cura, you can actually give it a different temp for that second filament, right? So, but to your point, you probably don't want to have it vary or very, very much, because you'd be sitting there waiting for it to heat up, cool down every time it does that purge block, and that's kind of messy and slow. So you probably wouldn't want to do that. But so yeah, Justin, PVA and PLA and HIPS for ABS. Yep. So we were talking last week about HIPS being a fairly good replacement for ABS, right? So you don't have the toxicity of printing ABS or any of those other issues, but HIPS itself, yeah, I know you usually use it as a dissolvable, right? You mix it and that stuff goes away, kind of like water with PVA. But if you just don't do that, it's a very heat accepting filament, and it takes an impact like ABS would, right? So that's what they were saying last week. So I have yet to try it myself, but I'm hearing good things about it from several people. And it prints at almost PLA temperatures. That's the cool thing. So
I thought the HIPS went through and printed very close to ABS temperatures.
You're right. I think you're right. I was asking him if it did, and he said no, it's hotter. So I think you're right.
To go through and change the temps via G-code manually, well, I don't have that kind of time.
Right. But no, I thought I'm pretty sure I'm looking at Cura right now. Let me flip over. And if I change this to the SV02, then if I'm not mistaken, where's my temp? Speed. Okay, here we go. So I'm fairly certain on this extruder and this extruder, I could give it different temperatures. Will it change it to? If I go to the other one, will it also pull it back there? Yeah, you know, it won't. Okay, so cool. So I could print one at 200 and one at 210. It will definitely allow me to do that. So no manual G coding necessary, I would say.
And it should be a short amount of time for it to go through and vary 5 degrees.
Yeah, see, now when I replaced my equipment on my E3D for an event that we won't talk about, when I had to replace the heating element on it, I got one with a higher wattage on purpose, so it would heat up much faster, and it's almost twice as fast. It is. It's crazy how fast my 01 heats up now. So
here's a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you did go through and use the two materials with two different temperatures, wouldn't that go through and increase the chance of clogging? Not for the higher temperature.
Right, for the lower, right?
But for the lower one.
Yeah.
Because if you need a higher temperature to push the one out, and as it's going through and spewing that one out, going back to the lower temperature, I think you have a good chance of causing a clog.
Yeah, I think you might be right, but I guess I don't know enough about how Cura does its G-code generation. Like if it knows that and it's going to do something about that as it's purging, I'm probably giving it too much credit. But I don't know. That's a great question. I think we should find out sometime. Run a little experiment. Can you write that down?
I've seen a lot of times that when a person goes through and uses like PEG a lot, and then switches over to PLA, sometimes they have to go through and run the PLA a lot hotter.
Yep.
In order to burn out what's left of that PEG.
Yep. Oh, that's a good reminder. Somebody asked me the other day if I would talk about using a cleaning filament, and I conveniently put mine on the other side of the room. I could go grab it, but when I got some filament one time, it came with a sample pack of this like green gooey stuff, this filament that basically it says, hey, just load it into your printer after you're done. If you're in that case where you're saying like if you're doing PETG and PLA or something, you run it through. You run maybe I don't know, just a decent length of it through until you see it come out all consistent. But you run this neon green stuff through it. And man, does it do a good words please. It does a good job of getting all the gunk out of there. So I've actually looked at nozzles after I've run it, and it's fairly clean inside. So I'm a fan. I don't always do it. I probably should do it more often than I do. Put it that way. But I do often use it. So I've also been told you can use nylon. I haven't tried that. I don't know if you've done it, Justin, but hey, I know with all my no, yeah, all of my equipment that I use in the garage, I usually like to keep in good working order and clean it. So why not the 3D printer? Let me go grab it real quick. Tell that joke, Justin.
Oh, I don't know any jokes that are appropriate. We lose all of our viewers real quick. I think there's two.
Hey, now.
Hello, Eric.
No critics. All right, here is it says it's PCL, nozzle cleaning filament. It says temperature, same as the last print. This is what it looks like. So it's like super, like when it comes out, I'm not kidding, it's kind of like snot, man. It's like super gooey and like snot mixed with some kind of glue. But I mean, I think that's a good thing in a cleaning filament. So I have yet to order any of my own, just to order a reel of it or anything just to have. But I think it's a good idea. And yeah, I like what Ed says. When you're doing those kind of things, you have to increase your retraction. I'm certain of that. So So I know we're technically over time, although we usually run these things an hour and 15 minutes, I guess. I don't know, not really on purpose, maybe by habit. But I'm glad we had some people show up and ask some good questions. We had some good conversation for sure. Not that we're done, but you know, if anybody has anything else to talk about or questions to ask, now would be a good time so we can squeeze them in there before we're done for today. So
I'm just really happy that we had it where we could go through and actually talk.
I know.
And not leave me a frustrated mess afterwards.
I know, man. It's yeah, and so for those that weren't here last time or the time before, we had some weird stuff. As Justin admitted, we're both kind of learning OBS and the ins and outs of all that kind of stuff. But it looks like we slayed the last techno beast. But we ran into problems where like he would say something and I'd hear him. I'm like, oh, okay, and I'd talk back to him, and then he couldn't hear from. I don't know, was it like a 20-30 second delay? So you didn't know I was talking. You'd start talking, and it was just a mess, man. So I'm glad we got that latency issue worked out. So okay, Ed says I've seen that in Micro Center, but it was expensive for a little thing. I thought it was kind of gimmicky, like head cleaning VHS tapes. Maybe, but I mean, I don't know if it's just my bad luck or good luck or whatever, but it's worked. But check it out. When I got it, this is practically all I got, right? I've probably used like maybe that much in like, I don't know, 3 months. So you don't use tons of it. It's not like printing. You basically just force it through. And it just
see a few
works.
different kinds.
Yeah.
Here on
Here, I'm gonna
Amazon.
I'm gonna see if I can make yours
Those are
full
about
screen.
$30.
Let me get your. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. I got to get your code again so I can make your full screen. Do copy link. Hold, please. This is how they do it in the big leagues, man. Okay, there we go. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't hear me when I'm. And now you can hear me, right? I forgot I don't have my microphone on when Justin's full screen. Yeah, but the that PCL stuff I've got. I mean, again, I feel it's going to last forever, right? Because I just use so little of it. But yeah, I kind of don't want to, like, when I get close to the end, I'm definitely going to buy some more cleaning filament because I don't want to be caught without. So cool.
I always wondered if it worked.
Oh man, you're echoing again.
Use it. Hello.
It's getting better. Oh, anyway, it doesn't bother me that much. Ed's saying, do a baseball shout. And on first base. It was definitely like a stadium feel. All right. So, yeah, I mean, I think we're probably nearing about that time. What are we going to talk about next week, Justin? I know we talked a lot about having JP show up, and we'll probably add him as a third camera here so he can give his color commentary on his design and everything. I think that would be pretty cool. Do you have anything else in mind for next week? Oh, now I can't hear you. Got rid of the echo and the volume. And we cannot hear anything. All right, so I'll just keep riffing along until Justin's able to talk with us again. But yeah, thanks, Dan, for stopping by. And Dan, I didn't hear too much from you, but I'm glad you were here. And hopefully, if you have any questions or anything, please get with us and let us know ahead of time, or when you show up here, if you have any questions, we'd be glad to talk through it. All right, so Ed says, I couldn't decide on the dual color printer, so I bought a palette. Putting it together, we'll let you know how it works. Man, that's the, how many colors does that take in to be able to combine them? All right, Dan. Hey, we all started there, so don't feel bad. You know, we'll get you there. I would love, oh, I should say this before everybody leaves. Please wait a second, Dan. Justin and I have been talking. We want to do, very soon, we would like to do some live training via Zoom for 3D printing and slicing and software and all that kind of stuff. So we would love it to work like this. You and your printer and some other people, right, and their printer and us. And if you have problems, let's fix them live. Let's get in there, but we're going to actually have lessons like, you know, hey, week 1, we're going to go through this. Let's start at the very beginning and walk you through it. Week 2, we start, you know, from where that left off, and we get you there and get you there and get you there. So that's my dream. We would love to be able to do that. And so if you have any feedback before we actually start doing that, I'd say in the next 2 weeks, let me know if you have any feedback on how you would dream that to work. And then talk to us. Send me an email at terry@creativegraphicsgroup.com and or hit me up on Facebook or whatever. Yes, I can teach you to stop blowing up printers. It's funny though. But yeah, I would love to be able to do that. And hopefully we'll get Justin's mic back here. But yeah, that would be something really cool to talk about as well. And I'd love you guys to give me some feedback on the live stream itself. What do you think about doing this? Is it cool? Is it useful for you? I don't want it just to be this thing that we get together and talk if nobody gets anything out of it. I'd love it to be something that you guys walk away and saying, oh, that was cool. Now I know this. I also would like to know if you guys, anybody here is printing anything cool for Christmas time. Are you giving gifts with your that are 3D printed? Are you doing anything super cool? Are you doing your own models? Are you coming up with your own ideas? Are you just taking things from Thingiverse, which is totally cool? What are you doing? So I'd love to hear about that. So maybe we can actually add that on the docket for something to talk about next week as well. Like what's everybody got going? Unless you don't want to talk about it because people would then know what they're getting. But yeah, I would love to talk about that too. So Justin, maybe your headset mic would work better. I don't know, but nope. A new robot. Yes. So Ed, let's do this together. I keep putting off my R2 for other things that come up. So we can go through. Oh, B9. Yeah. B9 is awesome. I love the B9. That was great, man. So yeah, I would definitely like to talk about cool things to print. You know, one of the other ideas I had is maybe we'll do group printing. maybe we'll take a month and we'll say, you know what? Let's all agree that we're going to go do this project together, and each of us will go through and we'll do it. And hey, you know, we'll use the oh, and man, I'm getting bad about plugging this too. I should know better. But yeah, we'll get together on Discord every day or something and talk. You know, so you guys know we have a Discord, and that's what I'm starting up so that I can get the actual invite information here. But yes, where are we here? Invite people. All right. So it's actually, we'll post it in our Instagram and everything. I know I've posted it before. It's not giving it to me really quick, so I don't want to hold you guys up. But yes, we have a Discord. So if you want access to it, let us know, and or search for Creative Graphics Group Discord. But we have all sorts of channels in there where we can talk about anything from sanding and painting to slicing and modeling and showing off and all that kind of stuff. So if you're on this live stream, or if you're re-watching it, please join our Discord, and I will put information in the description below this when it posts, so you can join. But yeah, maybe we'll do group builds. That might be a cool thing to do as well. But yes, have a great night. Talk to you later, Justin, and thank you everybody that showed up. And man, it's been great. So we'll keep this up. See, next week we'll have another 3D Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So thanks everybody.